Hey Android fans, this is Eric from HollywoodPhoto.com with another Android app review. Today I'm going to be talking to you about an app I've already reviewed, but today I'm going to be talking about overlays paired with Tasker. So these are two apps I've reviewed individually, but today I'm going to show you what they can do and how powerful they can be when you pair them together. Right before I get to that, just want to remind you that this review is sponsored by AndyTags.com. AndyTags is the best place on the internet to get really cool Android-themed NFC stickers, NFC tags, NFC keychains for use with your Android phone. So head over to AndyTags.com and check out all the cool stuff over there after the review. So Overlays, amazing app, and I've already reviewed it, so you can check out that review. Tasker, if you don't know, is one of the absolute best apps ever created for Android that allows you to automate a million different things. But you can pair Overlays with Tasker and do some really amazing stuff. So let's hop on my phone and I'm going to show you just a few of the exciting things that you can do. So here we are inside the app Overlays, and I already did a review of this app, and you can check that out to see all the different things it can do. You'll get a good idea just watching this. But specifically today I'm going to show you, because Overlays was, the developer was smart enough to integrate it with Tasker. It just allows you to do a lot of different really cool things. So for example, I created this car home overlay, and I'll show it to you right now. And basically it's Google Play Music Control, has Scout navigation, so you can see traffic and time to home, time to work. You can also press any of these or do a search to find things around you. And you can get directions and it'll navigate you. I also have Google Maps in case I decide to use Google Maps. I have a direct dial. I have an AVX button, that's my voice control. I have Speak the News, which reads news headlines. I have my log, which allows you to log and track your mileage. So this, basically it's all stuff for the car, for when I'm driving in my car. And when it's turned on, it will overlay on top of anything else that is there. So as you can see, I have it turned off, because obviously I only want it to be on when I'm in my car. So how do I do that? Well, that's when Tasker comes in. So let's go to Tasker, and you'll see, scroll to the bottom here, I have this first Tasker profile that I set up, and as you can see, it is turned on, and it's set up so that whenever I connect to Bluetooth in my car, so when it specifically connects to Bluetooth in my car, it triggers this task. Enable allow car. I name my task really weird things. And so if you go to that task, you'll see what that does. It sets another profile on. So whenever I'm in my car, whenever it connects to my car Bluetooth, it triggers this task, which then sets this other profile called Carol, and don't ask me why that's what it's called. Like I said, I just named them random words. And whenever that is on, it's off right now because I'm not connected to my Bluetooth, but when it's on, anytime ADW Launcher EX is active, then it triggers this task. So let's go to that task, in-car. What does that task do? Well, that task triggers the Overlays configuration car home to on. So that overlay widget I just showed you, which is off, now anytime I connect to my car Bluetooth, it doesn't turn on car home. It turns on another profile in Tasker that turns car home on anytime I'm on my home screen. So in other words, if I exit my home screen and I go to another app, then it's not going to be on. It's only going to be on when I'm on my home screen, because you don't want it to be on top of another app if you do open up an app. And going back to profiles, anytime I leave AWEX, my exit task is disable car home, which if we go into that task, disable car home, what that does is it turns car home off. So anytime I exit ADW to go to another app, it turns the car home overlays off. So I'm not in my car right now, but I can still show you what this does by going to overlays. So when I connect to my car's Bluetooth, that turns on a profile in Tasker that monitors whether or not I'm on my home screen. And if I'm on my home screen, then car home gets turned on. So when I'm on my home screen, that's what it'll look like. This overlay that I created is now on top of everything. So I have access to that when I'm in my car. Now, if I leave this screen, so let's say I press the Google Play to open up Google Play Music, it's not going to do it now because the Tasker profile is not on. I turned it on myself. But if the Tasker profile is on, then when I open Google Music, that car home will disappear because the Tasker exit task for any time ADW is not the foreground app is to turn off car home. So it will turn off. And then if I go back to my home screen, it would turn back on because Tasker is set up to turn that overlays widget on anytime I'm on my car home. I mean anytime I'm on ADW, and anytime I'm off of it to turn it off. Now what happens when I exit my car or when I disconnect from my car Bluetooth? When I disconnect from my car Bluetooth, let's go back into Tasker. When I disconnect from my car's Bluetooth, it triggers this task, which turns this profile off. And as you can see, the profile is off right now because I'm not connected to my Bluetooth. If this profile is off, then that widget, home screen, car home widget, overlays, will never be active because this profile is off. And it's only going to be active when this profile is on, and this profile is only turned on by this profile when I connect to my Bluetooth in my car. Hopefully that is understandable. It's a little bit advanced Tasker. It's not really that complicated actually, but if you're a Tasker person, it probably does make sense to you. So as you can see, that's really cool because when I'm home, I don't want that on my screen. That's all stuff related to driving in the car. But when I'm driving in the car and I connect to my car's Bluetooth, then whenever I go to my home screen, I want those widgets and those shortcuts to all be the main thing because I don't need all this other stuff. I'm not going to be using all this other stuff when I'm driving down the road. I want the things that are specific to driving down the road. So let me show you something else that I came up with. Now this is something I put together just today, just to kind of give you an example of what you could do. Let's go back to my home screen. Now let's say you only put app icons on the bottom here. So maybe you have one screen, maybe you have 3 or 4 screens, but you just want app icons on the bottom, 1 row or 2 rows, and maybe your scrolling dock, and then you left this blank because you wanted this, no matter what you scroll down here, you wanted this to be your main, most important stuff. But different stuff is important to you at different times of the day, so using overlays in Tasker, you could set this up to change based on the time of the day. So for example, this one is home commute. So as you can see, I set this up for just when you're commuting. So it's got, again, the Scout navigation, your Google Music controls, car mode button, my log, mileage tracker, Audible, in case you want to listen to an audiobook, and a Web2Go, which reads web pages to you. So all stuff related to driving. So you have that, and then home early. So this is like early in the evening. Let's take a look at this one. So this one, early in the evening, I have a specific task list set up here, and it is a scrollable task list using the app Task. I have a calendar widget, and then shortcut to Deal News, or shortcut to eBay app, and then a folder organizer shortcut to games. So this would be for early evening. And then this is homework. I don't know why I called it that. Again, random names, because I just put this together. But this is for late evening. So late evening, you have your pictures rotating, you have calendar widget, you have unread message count, your next alarm time, you want to see the weather for the next day and upcoming days, and then remote control apps for TV and sound system and Blu-ray, and then college football, because you like to catch up with your college football stuff in the later evening. So you have those set up, and then you would simply go into Tasker and create profiles based on time. So let's see, we're going to make up a name, and then we're going to go time. Now with Tasker, you could do time. You could do this based on time every day. You could do it. Obviously, you might want to have certain ones set up for Monday through Friday and different ones on the weekends. So we're going to say from 1702, 1705, and that sounds good to me. And then we're going to do a new task, and that task is going to be called Nothing Important. And then that task, we're going to go to Plugin and choose Overlays, and then under Configuration, press Edit, and we'll choose Home Early. Turn on. And then we're going to go back, and that's done. Now, as you can see, when we go to the home screen, that Home Early Overlays is now on because we're in that time frame I set up. So I can look at my tasks, I can look at my calendar, I can open up any of these apps, I can open up the eBay or folders. So it's, again, I just kind of threw this together. That's why it doesn't look good. Obviously, you'd spend more time and you'd either have it just up here, or you'd do away with this row of apps and have it longer. And the thing is, you can have apps, as you can see, app shortcuts on here, and you can move them around and make as many as you want. Even when this is active, if you long press, you can move something around. You can make these icons smaller so you could fit more, you know, however you wanted to do it. But that's the way you would do it. And you go into Tasker, and you could, now as you can see, because it's on, it's always on. I would set this up so that it was only on when I went to my home screen, just like I did with that car, with the car one that you saw. So within Tasker, you would set it up within certain times, and you would have those times then only when you go to your home screen turn those on. So it seems it's a little bit complex. It's a little bit, I would say it's not beginner Tasker stuff. I would say maybe intermediate, but not that complicated. You just set up a bunch of if, ands, and buts, and you know, you could have it set up that anytime you go to your home screen, there's a Tasker trigger that anytime you go to your home screen, it triggers a task, but then within the task, if it's between this time and this time, do this. But if it's between this time and this time, do this. And that way you could set it up with one profile, and then just which one of these it turns on is based on what time it is. And that way, anytime you anytime you went to your home screen, like let's turn the home commute one on. Anytime you went to your home screen, depending on what time it was, this would change. So what's on the bottom, of course, regardless of, because you scroll across, that could scroll. But this part you would leave empty and just use overlays and Tasker to change it based on the time of day. So based on the time of day, your home screen, what is up in this area, would change. You could do your whole home screen that way if you wanted to. If you didn't have any need for scrolling and you just wanted to make the whole home screen be widgets and things, then you could. Obviously, you could still access any app through your app drawer and stuff. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm explaining it the best way I can without going step by step into exactly how to do it, everything, because it's already taking long enough without doing that. But basically, you could set up, 10 different of these in overlays, and then have 10 different time frames. Or using Tasker, it could be based also on day of the week. You could have one that operates Monday through Friday, because you have the same thing each time of the day, Monday through Friday, and then a different one that operates on Saturday and Sunday. But as you can see, these are just a few examples of what you can do just pairing overlays with Tasker. There's just an unlimited ways you can use this. So I'll show you one other cool thing I did using overlays and Tasker. This is a simple one. When you open up your Maps app, whether you're opening up Maps or you're navigating, Android sees it as the same thing. And I wanted to do an overlay of Google Music controls and also a shortcut button to open my voice control app anytime I'm navigating. But if I did that, then anytime I open Maps, it would be there too. So what I did is I created an overlays that opens up anytime I'm in Maps, and it would also obviously also be open anytime I'm in navigation, and it's just one quick little shortcut. You can see it right there. It's semi-transparent, and what that is a shortcut to a Tasker task. So when I hit that, that initiates a Tasker task. Well, that Tasker task turns on this overlays, the overlays that has the music controls and the AVX controls. And so this is just a Tasker task that it actually doesn't turn it on, it toggles it. So if I hit it again, then it will turn it off. This way I don't have to have those controls anytime I'm in my Maps. I can only have them when I want them when I'm using the navigation. So this little button is controlled by overlays, and anytime I'm in Maps or navigation, seen as the same app in Android, this little button will show up. And then if I want those music controls and the AVX voice control, then I just press that and it toggles them through Tasker, because this is a shortcut to a Tasker task, which enables an overlays profile. So that's how that works. Very cool, very simple. If we go into overlays, you can see in the globals, it's the one called navigation. So open that up, and you'll see there it is right there. So this is the one I created, and then it's off, and it gets turned on by the shortcut. And if we go here, you'll see I have the Maps overlays, and in the Maps overlays, that's where I have that little button that is a trigger to a shortcut, and that shortcut is a Tasker task that then when I press it turns on the navigation overlay. So that's how that works using Tasker and overlays. As you can see, there's just so many different ways you can use them together to really create some pretty cool stuff, and pretty powerful when you put the two together. So as you can see, when you pair overlays with the app Tasker, the possibilities really are endless. There are so many really cool things you can do. I gave you just a few examples that I thought of, but you probably have some ideas even just watching this that I haven't thought of, and I've only had the app overlays for maybe a month or so. I'm sure I'll think of new things as time goes on. But Anyway, just very cool when you really pair those two together. Really kind of blows open the possibilities. So Overlays and Tasker, get them both and come up with some really cool stuff yourself. Anyway, that is it for this review. If you like this review, please click the like button. You want to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with other really cool Android apps. I have almost 150 plus app reviews, so you can check those out, and I'll be adding more, of course. It's a good way to keep up with the latest and coolest apps that are out there. And I also do product reviews. You can check those out as well. You can share this review on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, with anyone else you know who might be interested in seeing how powerful these two apps are together. And that's about it. Until next time, this is Eric, reminding you that your Android phone is only going to be as good as you make it.